Alright, so I went to Redbox and I finally was able to check out You Should Have Left, and I rented Deep Blue Sea 3, the sequel we never asked for. We're gonna do a double review, alright, because I honestly don't have a whole lot to say about these movies. I'll keep it as spoiler free as possible, but no promises, alright? But I will warn you in case I really feel like I do need to spoil something. Let's talk about the newest one, Deep Blue Sea 3. After all, it is almost Shark Week. So, this movie is about killer sharks. It's basically the first movie recycled and done the same again, the same story, same beats, even the little things that I kind of picked up on. Like, that's kind of like that scene in the first movie. The thing sinking, and just like the laboratory in the first one, the whole thing was sinking, and then you think someone's dead, but then they kind of pop up at the end. They're like, oh, you're still alive. That's not a lot of shark movies. It's like a shark movie trend. They did it in like Jaws, I think, or Jaws: The Revenge. There's always that that thing that happens in all these shark movies where you think someone's dead and they come out of the water towards the end. Oh, they're still alive. Same thing in this movie. But yeah, it's just the same story as the first one. You got bull sharks, I think, instead of great whites in this one that become smarter. They're being experimented on. It's an experiment gone wrong. Now they're too smart. We need to stop them. We need to cover our tracks. Blah, blah, blah. So, not a movie that's original at all, especially when it comes to shark movies. You can't be original when it comes to shark movies unless you want to make a Sharkenstein or a Santa Jaws or something Sharknado. That's original, but stupid. So let's just get into the things that I liked about this movie. Not too much, but there's one death scene in the movie that actually made me laugh out loud. I don't want to spoil it because it's really like the only thing in the movie that's funny or entertaining. I was like, all right, that was kind of cool. It's kind of shocking. I think it's trying to like one up the Samuel Jackson death in the original. I will say that the practical sharks in the movie look good when it's actually practical and not CGI. And there's some gory moments in it. Not a whole lot, but you do see like heads getting chopped off and arms getting pulled out of the water and intestines hanging out of people's lower halves. Stuff like that. So you'll get some gore if you're into that stuff. But did anyone else pick up on this like Terminator ending? Not to spoil the ending too much, but come on, you know what's gonna happen. It's a shark movie. They're gonna kill the shark. How are they gonna do it though this time? Are they gonna blow it up? Kind of. But in this one, I just was thinking Terminator the whole time. I was expecting this chick to be like, "You're terminated," as she was killing it, but that would have been too on the nose. And this girl, I didn't write her name down, but she's the "Welcome to Texas, motherfucker." That girl from Texas Chainsaw 3D. So yeah, she's beautiful, by the way, very gorgeous. Which would bring me into the characters, and that's the cons. I didn't give a shit about any of these people, and therefore I just found the movie to be boring because I didn't care about any of their dialogue, any of these characters. They're just all so typical. A lot of them are just one note. You got a bunch of badass dudes who have their shirts off 90% of the movie trying to show how muscular they are. I go to Gold's Gym. What protein shake do you drink? They're just typical characters. None of them are interesting. None of them are entertaining. I don't care who lives or dies in this film. And therefore, it was miserable for me. I just wanted the movie to end. And I know a lot of you probably will disagree, but it's just, I didn't like the characters, and that was the biggest problem. They're just dull and boring, and I was like, they're typical. You got the two geeks who are in love with each other, but they just won't admit it until like the end once, shit hits the fan and they don't think they're gonna make it. Before I die, I just want you to know, Sally, I love you. It's just not original. Nothing original here. Nothing shocked me except for the one death. That was the only surprise the film had to offer. It was just that one death scene. It was like, oh shit, okay. So that was good. But everything else, just not original, very redundant from everything we've seen before in shark movies, especially this own franchise, Deep Blue Sea. And the CGI sharks are awful. They take me right out of it. They just look awful. Can we please, if you're gonna make a shark movie, get the budget first, all right? Make it like a Shallows or a 47 meters down, where it's not so bad that you're just rolling your eyes, because that's what it is in this movie. It just looks so awful at times. And it's just, annoying that we keep getting these stupid shark movies that are just CGI. So yeah, at the end of the day, this movie just did not do it for me. It's an unnecessary sequel. It's not a sequel that I don't think anyone was asking for. It basically does a lot of the same things that the first movie did, and it's all CGI sharks for the most part, and one shocking kill, some gory moments, but the characters to me just were typical and they sucked. I didn't care about any of them. So when it comes to Deep Blue Sea 3, for me, this movie was just wasted time. So now let's move into You Should Have Left, which is a movie that came out, I think, in early June to VOD for $19.99. And if I had spent that money, this review would be a lot different. Let me just say that. I got this for like $1.80 at Redbox. So, not as pissed off as I would have been. I will say overall, this movie's fine. I prefer this one over Deep Blue Sea because I didn't hate myself watching it. I actually liked the characters in this movie, the family. They're dynamic. That's my positive, so let's just get into that. I like this family. In the first act, the way they're set up, they're back and forth, the dialogue, the acting, the cast, Kevin Bacon, Amanda Seyfried, just terrific. I like them. I like them as actors, and I like them in this movie together. It's kind of unbelievable, but hey, we've seen crazier things when it comes to, older guys dating younger women. I mean, look at Sleepaway Camp, where you got Mel dating Meg, who's like 17, and he's fucking like 70. It's crazy. In this movie, you got Kevin Bacon and Amanda Seyfried like dating, and Kevin Bacon's like 62, and then Amanda Seyfried's like in her 30s, early to mid 30s. So yeah, looking past that, I like them as a couple in this movie, and the performances were all good, and the story, although generic, haunted house type of movie, a time twisty movie, things aren't really told, some things aren't really linear. The story is intriguing enough to keep me engaged, like, oh, I wonder where this is going. And so I was never bored watching this movie. There's enough interesting things in here that kept me watching. But this movie is not scary, and it's, again, not original. This movie is a haunted house movie where once you get inside this place, you're like cursed, and doors just like it's like a shifting house. It kind of like changes its layout when you're in it, so doors kind of like lead to other places, and time's like not even a thing no more. Like you could be gone for 5 minutes and come back and find out you were gone for like 6 hours or some shit. So it's just one of those types of movies. It's rated R, and I have no idea why. There's like one sex scene, but you don't see any nudity, so there's no nudity, there's no gore, there's not like a high body count or any on-screen kills. There's hardly any swearing in the film. Why is this rated R? Because there's not even anything scary in it either. There's nothing scary in this movie. There's one scene that tries to be scary towards the end involving like a bathtub, but that's really it. That was the only like moment of like horror atmosphere and suspense, but for the rest it was just not scary at all. It was just intriguing little things like, that the house is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. That's interesting. I wonder how they're going to explain that, or where this is leading. Some things are just unexplored, and by the end of it, some things are just convoluted and don't really line up. And the ending was just kind of underwhelming, and again, there's no like crescendo at the end. It doesn't get like scary or anything or violent. This movie plays it safe. It just feels watered down. You got a daughter and wife who could have gotten slaughtered or something or killed. They could have done something to make this movie dark and scary, but they just played it safe. No one dies. There's nothing really going on in the movie. It's just a haunted house. That's it. And can we please stop the 555 bullshit? All right, that's another little nitpick I'll throw out there. Stop with the 555. That's not a real number, so quit. So final thoughts. This movie was just meh, fine. It's got a good cast, good performances, some intriguing things in it, but doesn't really go anywhere where there's like a big payoff and it makes you want to go back and watch the movie again to see what you missed. There's no like real twist that you don't see coming a mile away. So when it comes to You Should Have Left, maybe if you're interested and you like Kevin Bacon or you like Blumhouse movies, you can just stream it, borrow it from a friend, or rent it at Redbox. And those are my thoughts on these two movies. What did you think about this double review? Which movie did you like? Which one did you not like? Or did you like them both? Or did you hate them both? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and hit the share button to spread the word about Mr. Hat movie reviews. And you can become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.